What's up, everybody? Back with another professional picks video. For me and Slee, we're going to talk about each and every game this week, see what we like, see which way we're leaning, and even predict some bets that we may have in our future videos. Let's get into it. Of course, show us some love, give the video a like, comment in the section who you're taking this week and what do you think. And as always, subscribe to the channel. Slee, well, first game of the week. Great Thursday night game, especially compared to last week's Bears-Panthers matchup. What are your initial thoughts here?
Yeah, no, I mean, you said it. Definitely a better card already in week 11.
Oh,
I'm
so
starting with this Thursday night matchup. We have the 5-4 Bengals heading to the 7-3 Baltimore Ravens, AFC North divisional matchup. Both teams coming off losses as well. Baltimore won this matchup in week 2 by 3 points, and that one was on the road. Uh, as far as this one goes, I think the biggest storyline is both of these quarterbacks and how they've been playing so far.
mhm.
Burrow battling the calf injury a lot early on, turned it around as of late, but then Lamar on the other end, for as great as the Baltimore Ravens are at 7-3, hasn't really been a huge year for Lamar. Had a couple big games early on, but the last 3 weeks it's gone a little bit more quiet.
Yeah,
Um,
I would say he has been, getting a lot of talk for MVP candidate. He's been in pretty high up there the odds, but last week definitely took a step back against the top Browns defense.
yeah,
But
yeah. I mean, yeah, he's definitely not playing a bad year by any means. He's still
his yards
playing
are never going to
efficient.
show great numbers, but his efficiency in the passing game is actually pretty solid.
He's still been running pretty well, but right. At the same time, yeah, doesn't have to do as much as he had in the past, maybe.
Yeah,
Play a little bit
certainly,
more conservative, don't get injured. But
certainly.
do you like the Bengals heading into this one and the way they've been trending even after a tough Texans loss?
It's tough because they come out of such a tough loss, and they really we keep saying it every week. They really do need a win, just because now the Texans are in the playoff hunt. Who would have thought that? I used to think the wild card was really just up to the Bills and some team in the AFC North, and now the Broncos are kind of coming back. The Chargers are playing better. They should get a big win this week against the Packers we're talking about. And now the Texans are in the playoff conversation. So now all of a sudden, it's a very crowded AFC wildcard race where the Bengals really need to win this game. But that being said, if this game was in a vacuum and just a straight up game, I would love the Ravens here because I think that they match up well. This is a team that is just like top five right now in both offense and defensive ranks by most measures. They're just playing so efficiently on offense, and defensively, they're not putting up many points here. It's just, I think this over under is actually at 46, not 43 and a half. And part of me thinks it's going to be under just because of the fact that I think the Bengals do got to compete in this game, but I like the Ravens so much. I just don't know. This is a game I'm definitely staying away from. I'm going to be really happy to watch, but I won't be surprised if the Ravens just blow them out.
Yeah,
What do you think? I
I
really this game could go any way. I think the Bengals are certainly more desperate, but there's no doubt the Ravens are a better team
I
for me.
think I think the Bengals cover this one. Yes, the Ravens have the much better defense, arguably the best defense in the league. They're also really good against the pass, so the stats don't really favor the Bengals here, but playing more into the storyline, crowded AFC wild card. I also think the Bengals they just had such a terrible start to their season. They're kind of still getting their footing. The defense didn't show up against the Texans. The Texans offense is also kind of like a powerhouse the last few weeks. So it's really tough to grade the Bengals in my mind, but I would I'd go with Burrow with the hook on the field goal here.
Yeah, I like
Not
that
not a lot
analysis.
that really gives you stat wise to believe in that, but
It's just
I
belief in
just
Joe Burrow is what that bet is, what that
yeah,
lean is. And I agree. I
I just
like
think
that.
this team's trending up after such a rough start. And like I said, they lost that matchup by only 3 points. They were at home, but they were playing so bad early on and only lost by three.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I like that lean. Moving on to the next AFC North matchup here. Same line, 3.5. Might even move down now that Deshaun Watson's officially out for the season. I'll check as we speak. But what do you think about this AFC North matchup? Oh, it's a
Yeah.
pick'em game now. Pick'em game with
Oh,
Deshaun
really?
Watson. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
33 is the over under though. So No points, coin flip.
Yeah, well, I mean, so yeah, with Deshaun Watson being out in this one, the Browns are going to be starting Dorian Thompson-Robinson. A lot of people, DTR, he went off in the preseason at least, quarterback from UCLA, I
Hmm.
believe, but
Yeah,
a lot of people are also blaming him now for because the Browns had Dobbs at the start of the year. You got to remember that, and then they traded him to the Cardinals
that's
when
hilarious.
like the Kyler injury, everything. But anyways, yeah, so she's going with DTR in this one. It's brutal matchup for your first start going up against the Steelers, even at home. Steelers already won this matchup also in week 2. I just I think this one is hard not to take the Steelers. You get,
Agreed.
I guess, even money now, but such a low total. I like the Steelers. Mike Tomlin just wins those grinded out games, even if
It's
they're not
so
gaining
hard. It's
many
so
yards as
hard.
the other team.
Both teams 6-3. If the Ravens lose this week and one of these teams win, like they're tied for the lead in the AFC North. Like this is a huge game for one of these teams. It's a huge game for the AFC North in general. Just all around, they're all fighting for playoff spots. None of them guaranteed with how well everyone's playing. It's so hard. I want to take the Browns here just because their defense is so much better. How did this? The Steelers won the first game in this matchup. They always beat the Browns at home. They like have a
Yeah,
crazy record against the Browns. Mike Tomlin at home against the Browns is insane.
yeah, they won
I
by
just had to
4.
think the Browns win it just for no reason. Just I don't know what's they just strictly rely on the run game and run over this Steelers defense, run defense, which isn't that bad at all. Um, I, there's not a lot of things you can say great about the Steelers except they win games. I don't know, and they do. This is what it is.
Right.
So
I mean, it's a pick 'em game. It's the Mike Tomlin special going up against this quarterback that you didn't even recognize
yeah,
that.
what it really is I trust the Steelers defense to turn over this quarterback more so than the inverse. The Browns, while they have much better defense, turning over the Steelers. So that's going to be the difference. This is definitely a game I'm staying away from, though. Same at this one too. The Dolphins. I love this picture. Dolphins are the Raiders here. 12 points for the Dolphins coming off a bye. For me, I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo is playing or Aiden O'Connell. I don't think it matters that much. I think coming off a loss against the Chiefs, especially a game that I think they definitely could have won, barring a defense touchdown for the Chiefs there. I think that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle go crazy this game, and these guys just run all over a Raiders defense. But curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know how the Raiders are going to really slow down this Miami offense, but on the flip side, they are 2-0 under Antonio Pierce since he's been interim coach.
True.
They've been partying after every win. Seems like the morale is very high in Vegas, and they're now 5-5. So
It's
they're
wild. Them
not,
and the Bills have
yeah,
the same record. How is that
yeah,
possible?
yeah. So I mean, this is kind of another team that's found some ways to win games, but at the same time, Miami's also been that team that just dominates lesser competition. The
Yeah.
Raiders are a weaker roster, and Miami's just had their way with these type of teams. But yeah, on the flip side, it's you could still argue they've looked really good under Antonio Pierce, but those are 2 wins against the Giants and the Jets.
Yeah, it's not the steepest competition. I think what I really like is I'm going to be really intrigued to see what plays and schemes that Mike McDaniel dials out off a bye week, and that's why if this game wasn't off a bye week, I wouldn't be so bullish on the Dolphins. But because it is, and just of how creative a play caller McDaniel is, I think he's going to pull some stuff out that nobody's seen before, and it's just going to be unstoppable, like he kind of has. That's kind of what it was at the start of the season. No one had seen what he put in before. He looked unstoppable. It started to slow down a little bit. But when you don't have film on this guy's plays, like you usually got something up unique in the bye week, then it gets really tough to stop, especially for a lesser
Yeah.
defense like the Raiders.
Yeah, the plus 12 almost seems like too much until you remember when they were winning by like 40 early on.
Exactly. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if they are the team they started out as, or if they regress as the season goes on.
Yeah. All right. This next one, we got the Bears now sitting at 3-7. The win against the Panthers on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
Um, got a little bit of extra time coming in this game and should see Justin Fields return to the field. And then the Lions now at 7-2, big win in a shootout against the Chargers, and really just running away. or not running away now with the Vikings making a run, but
Yeah, it's kind of
looking
crazy.
like the best team in the NFC North at least.
Yeah, it'd be pretty shocking the Vikings to win this division. But yeah, they're 1.5 games up from the Vikings.
Yeah,
But I think that the Bears put up 16 points against the Panthers defense. I know they had a long week. This Lions defense is much better than the Panthers defense. I'm not saying it's incredible, certainly better. I've been loving watching Aiden Hutchinson this year too. Um, and this Bears defense is trash. The Lions are kind of in full go mode. You saw it with the Chargers. They're at home here. I think I like the Lions a lot this game. Justin Fields will be back, like you said. Makes it a little bit different, but that's what keeps me away from the 9. But I don't see the Bears even with Fields picking up a ton of points. Like Justin Fields is a big upgraded quarterback. They weren't doing too much when he was still in the field. Now they didn't look great. So I'm not a huge believer in Justin Fields right now. Especially first game after injury, like a little rusty maybe. I'm not sure, but I don't believe in him right now.
yeah. I mean, I agree. Fields is still an upgraded quarterback, but the team was playing better without him. Some of that you could say is the defense playing a little bit better
Defense has
as
stepped
well
up.
now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the 9 here is a pretty nice number. Almost like the over. I think you just saw
I
the
like
Lions put
that.
up you just saw the Lions put up 41 points against the Chargers. Just have the Bears score a touchdown in a game like that.
Yeah. 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 I agree, actually. I mean, you have to think Fields is going to post something out of his butt. Like he's just makes crazy plays, usually with his legs.
Right. Whether it's a turnover or not, like he's been either putting up points for the other team or the
Yeah, he's
Bears.
either giving away points or he's putting them up himself. I like that. Let's see what happens here. Contrast, a little bit lower scoring game. Another divisional matchup with the Jags and Titans. What do you got notes wise?
Yeah, rolling in this one. AFC South matchup. Titans now lost their last 2 after Will Levis's big performance to
Yeah.
enter into the NFL. And then the Jags also just got trampled by the Niners, but it was a really tough spot. Niners kind of desperate for a win after losing 3 in a row. So it
Mm-hmm. And
doesn't
by
affect my opinion on them that much.
agreed.
Yeah, in the bye week, as you mentioned, but the 2 teams coming off of big losses, divisional matchup. The Titans, I thought would be a better football team than they have been this year. They have had just no solid play at quarterback or consistent play. But yeah, I think I like the Jags a lot here at the -6.5. Almost seems a little. I have no clue what the public's on, but seems like a little bit too good. What do
Yeah,
you like?
I'm with you. I'm with you. Eyeball test, like the Jags look like a much better team. Uh, I'm kind of surprised. Their defense has not looked as stout as you would think on paper, and that's what scares me in this game. Especially the secondary is playing great, but points against isn't. They're 6-3. They have a point margin throughout the season of 6 +6. So it's like they're not. I mean, part of that is this got trampled
Yeah,
by the 49ers, but still, my concern is, what is. I think they're going to shut down Will Levis to the extent they can, shut down DeAndre Hopkins. What's Derrick Henry going to do in this game? That's how the Titans always stick around late in the season because of Derrick Henry just running over tired defenses. We'll see. It does kind of feel like a trap line. And but I personally like the Jags here as well. It's just divisional game. Always scares me.
yeah. I mean the Jags, at least prior to this last week, when they got dominated by the Niners, they were leading the league in takeaways. So, I mean, that's a big thing that could be contributing to their success for obvious reasons. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. That's something that could always flip. You
That's
never
what I was
know.
going to say. Is that something that is just a part of their identity, or is that trending? And once you stop winning that turnover margin by such a drastic amount, that's when you start to play close games, tight games, and lose games. So we'll see.
Yeah, a little bit scary. Don't love the minus
I
six
don't
and a half.
think I almost kind of think Vrabel wins or definitely competes in this game. This game here, so I love the Chargers, man. In this game, I really like the -3 here. I think it's almost like a trap line because everyone just saw them light up the scoreboard. I can't bet it because I just can't. But you just saw them put up like 38 points against the Lions. You're like, oh, go ahead. Of course they're going to beat the Packers here. They have to win because they are a playoff caliber team on the roster. You see that yesterday or Sunday was them playing like one. I think the Packers are pretty bad. pretty awful actually, and it's surprising to see +3 here. Quite honestly, I think the big thing is that the Packers live on the run, and the Chargers really die by the run on defense, and that's where I think the Packers should stick around this game. But the Packers have not proven anything to me all season long that they can actually beat even halfway decent teams.
Yeah, yeah. If I have to pick a side, I'm going with the Chargers in this one. But yeah, it's not enough that I really love them in this matchup. Even playing in Lambeau is always tough. Packers have not been good this year. They're 3-6. Same time, the Chargers are 4-5. Um, Jordan Love too. He actually looked pretty solid until the second half of that fourth quarter.
He
He had
just played
two
complete
he had
football
two
games.
picks. Like he just threw it away.
Yeah, I saw
Um,
those.
yeah, see,
Terrible.
it's kind of reminding me of what Fields was doing early on in the year. But
Yeah,
but
yeah,
he looked pretty solid for most of the game till the end.
yeah. They were in
They
it.
might, yeah. I mean, they're not maybe as bad as they've looked this year.
They dealt with a lot of
That's
injuries
why I can
too.
kind of see the +3 here, but yeah, I don't know. It seems like a dangerous game for me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this I think I'm going to have it at the Packers just because this seems like a total trap line. Packers suck. Chargers putting up a ton of points. They just barely lost. Reminds me of a game really long time, not really long time ago, 3 or 4 years ago. Vikings week 1 played the Packers. Vikings won 41-38, I want to say. Next week, they travel to Tennessee and they're 3-point favorites on the road. And everyone's on the Vikings because they just put up 41 points.
Oh, I remember
That
this
the
game
Packers.
actually.
And then the Titans blew them out. I don't think the Packers can ball out anybody, but I do think I'm getting sense of that game here.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they'll blow anyone out, but I think they definitely could stick around.
Someone's telling me they're going to. What do you think about this one here?
Yeah, at the start of the
Texas
year,
Ravens.
we might not have been too interested in this matchup, but Cardinals sitting at 2-8, just coming off a win in Kyler's first start. So definitely at least a more interesting team to watch since his return. And then Texans
Mm-hmm.
now 5-4 in the wild card race. His offense looks like an actual powerhouse with Stroud, Tank Dell, Noah Brown. Not huge names, but they're becoming bigger names.
I mean, they won that game without
Week
Nico
by week.
Collins, who's their best receiver too, and he's going to be back
All
this
right.
week.
And yeah, Texas just riding on momentum right now. It's their first 5-win season in 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Heading into home as a 5-point favorite in this one. What do you like?
I think that
I
just like
think
the Bengals were
everyone would
almost
be.
due for a loss, I think the Texans are due for a loss.
I kind of do too.
And at the very least, I love the +5 then because of that. Like, let's say we don't want the Cardinals to win, they might not win. I think the gas has they're kind of running on adrenaline and a lot of hype right now in Houston, but this team is a reason they haven't won 5 games in 4 years. They're getting better for sure. They're better than they've been in the last 4 or 5 years, without a doubt. Stroud's playing really well. It just seems like they're due for a loss. I wish the Cardinals didn't win last week because they would really be due for a win and then be the perfect storm here. But I think I like the +5 for some reason. And maybe, if the Texans do go out and blow the Cardinals out of the water in this game, I'm not going to say like, hey, I was wrong about Texans. They're legit. I still think they're going to be due for a loss sometime. It just might not be this week. But I think I'm going to bet on it. Them running out of a little bit of steam this week, maybe dropping a loss, if not being a tighter game than it should be.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think even like you said, even if they don't lose the game, you could still hit on that +5 here. Because yeah, it might not be the week that they're due for the loss, but a 5 still win by a field goal and hit on the Cardinals.
It's like they're playing pretty well though. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
like
just
I mean, I was watching the game. Stroud threw a big pick in the fourth, and I kind of thought they were gonna fall apart, and they bounced right back, ended up pulling
yeah,
the game out, which
yeah,
is really impressive. I thought. I mean, on the road in Cincy,
yeah. I agree.
yeah,
And
it was
Cardinals
a
is
big
such a
win.
bad defense. It'd be hard for me to like. They're so terrible.
Next up, the Cowboys now sitting at 6-3. Dak Prescott looking like the best quarterback in the NFL the last 3 weeks
Mhm.
since the bye. And then they're heading into the Panthers. They're now 1-8, lost to the Bears on Thursday Night Football. Looking like the worst team in the NFL at the moment. But Like I said, Dak looking like the best quarterback in the league since their bye week in their last 3 games. He's got 11 touchdowns, 2 picks, and just shy of 1,100 yards. And on the flip side, the Panthers haven't put up more than 15 points in each of their last 3 games. So I don't see how the Cowboys don't blow them out unless this one maybe goes under in a
My
more
thoughts
defensive
exactly. I
matchup.
mean,
But yeah, those are my thoughts heading into this
I'm
one.
sure the public's all over the Cowboys, which is why I don't want to bet them. But this game is so similar to me that with the Giants game last week, like their defense is gonna shut them down. I think the only offense that's worse in the league than the Panthers is the Tommy DeVito-led Giants. I mean, no matter what, this defense is going to come to play for them. Can Dak Prescott keep them rolling? Again, I've mentioned earlier in the video, I think the Panthers defense is pretty bad, and there's a lot of statistics to back me up there. If this game was on the road, it'd be a slam dunk minus 30 this game. Now it's on the road, it makes it a little bit more dicey. And this is the same spot they found themselves in when they were on the road against the Cardinals. Earlier in the season, they dropped that one. I think it's a little bit different. Obviously, Josh Jobs is proven to be better than people give him credit for. I don't think that Bryce Young and his offense is ready to go against a defense like this. It's really going to be about these guys coming to play. If they do, this minus 11 will hit easy. If they are looking past the Panthers, I don't know. I'm going to look at this Cowboy schedule and see who they're playing next week. Because maybe just like they did against the Cardinals, they were looking past for the next week. Or they played the Niners the week after the Cardinals. Maybe they were looking past this opponent and going to drop this one or at least come out a little flat. They got the Commanders at home, not necessarily a great opponent, but a divisional opponent. It's the Thursday night Thanksgiving game. So the Thursday Thanksgiving game, maybe we're looking past it. I don't think so. Like you said, Dak's looking great. I think they come to play and they put up a ton of points and really get in Bryce Young's face all day long.
Yeah, I see him winning this one comfortably. Hopefully, Dak doesn't start falling back down because I just picked him up in fantasy.
Yes, someone else might like this dropping too. This game I don't really need to talk about too much because the Commanders are favored by 10 points. Incredibly low scoring game, 37 points here. It's all a factor of how poor the Giants have been playing this year. I don't think I like the Commanders minus 10. I think if I had to pick a line, I do plus 10 here. But the Giants look so terrible. I think the under is probably the best bet in this game. Giants defense comes to play a little bit. Divisional games, it's always a little bit throw your arms in the air and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean the Giants did win this game a couple weeks back, 14-7. So well on the under. And yeah, I think I like the Giants plus 10 here. They're still going with DeVito in this game. The offense hasn't looked good. They have had some tough matchups though, and yeah, I just think the plus 10's too much. This Commanders team offloaded going into the deadline. They're not trying to win games. Or I mean, they are, but
I'm with you.
at least not really compete for.
They're not fighting for anything significant here. They're just playing football, and that's sometimes it's enough to go out and try hard, but it's not always enough to like try your hardest.
Right.
What do you think about this game here?
Yeah, the 4-5 Bucks, both teams coming off huge wins in week 10. Niners sitting at 6-3, and Chase Young's just gonna continue to get integrated in that pass rush. Already picked up half a sack in his debut.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna be a very tough game for the Bucks, especially at times when you've just seen this offense kind of go quiet. I could see the Niners dominating this game, but at the same time, Baker's also played very well in moments this season. Last week he got hot, and then they ended up beating the Titans by 2 touchdowns. But I don't think the Bucks have enough firepower. The line's at 10.5, so the odds makers agree with it. But yeah, this one's tough for me to take a side. What do you like, Woj?
I really like the 49ers here. I do think that Baker Mayfield is going to come out a little flat. Not even hit Baker Mayfield. He's playing against a great defense, the 49ers. I think this offense is going to struggle against the 49ers defense. And then the Bucks, who, have big names in the defense, and we talk about them a lot, and they're good. Like the Bucks have the 3rd worst overall defense according to PFF. Their run defense is really poor compared to the rest of their team. And actually, their coverage is bad too. They don't have a great defense despite having a ton of great names. I expect the 49ers to kind of put it on a similar performance the Jaguars did, quite honestly. I like 10.5 a lot. I like it a lot.
All right. I
I
like it,
don't
Wish.
think the Bucks put up more than 16. I think that's being generous. They need some turnovers. I think the 49ers come in with a very similar game plan they did against the Jags, run the ball a ton, use the play action, get big chunk plays. I think the Niners roll here and they lost 3 straight games. People forget we were like, these guys are far and away the best team in football. They had a few down games. These guys are still far and away the best team in football, with the exception of maybe like the Eagles. They're in the juggernaut tier for sure. Far and away the best team in football was a stretch. Juggernaut tier still remains, and the Bucks are far from that.
Yeah, no, you sold me. Baker won't be enough.
I just can't see it.
All right, AFC matchup in this one. Jets now at 4-5, coming off the loss to the Raiders, and then Bills now at 5-5, just brutal loss on Monday night to the Broncos. Bills also fired their offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey.
Did
I don't
they? I
know.
didn't see that.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems kind of like a take attention off of Josh Allen's interceptions type of move
Yeah.
in my mind. But yeah, I mean the Bills are clearly the better team. At least overall. Just Josh Allen has not been able to hold on to the football this season. Anything you're liking here? With the Jets heading as a touchdown underdog.
Ooh, I like the Jets a little bit to cover this game because the Bills look so bad. They fired Ken Dorsey makes me like the Bills. They look so bad. Josh Allen here's what I really have noticed from the games I've watched the Bills. The improvised runs from Josh Allen are non-existent. He doesn't scramble anymore. He just extends the plays and then forces balls in windows that don't exist, and then gets picked off. He's missing that run addition to the game that isn't the design runs that the Bills call a lot to be a stipend of that run offense. It is the pass plays that he extends and turns into runs. I'm hoping that Joe Brady, who is now the interim OC, will encourage that. I don't know who was not letting him run the ball. Hopefully it's not himself, but I want that back from Josh Allen. That's how they get back to winning. They've looked so bad, and James Cook can't hold on to the football to save his life. He's eating popcorn before every single snap, it seems like. I don't know. He's got butterfingers. And the Jets aren't going to put up points this game. The big question is, are the Bills? And that's what it is. It's going to decide everything. They are really in a must-win game here. And I said that against the Broncos, and they screwed me. And it's even more must-win. I don't know. I think I like the Bills here. The Bills are going to win the game. They have to. They quite honestly have to. But they're going up against a really tough Jets defense. What's going to happen? Already lost the
Yeah,
Jets once this
I
game.
think I think maybe a good tease opportunity here on the Bills.
That's what I said last week. I'm with you, but that's what I said. Situation last week. Must-win game, -7. At
I mean,
home, under
Jets
the
beat them
lights.
on opening night too.
I know. I
They
gotta.
need it.
Hopefully, Joe Brady gets this offense going.
People of Buffalo need it.
They do. They deserve it.
All right, we got the NFC West matchup, 6-3. Seahawks now just beat the Commanders by 3 points. Pretty close game there. And then the Rams returning from a bye week. No McVay. It's definitely drawing up some schemes heading in this one, and they also have Stafford expected to return.
Yeah,
Um, you called this matchup week 1 of the NFL season.
that was a great call.
And it's kind of giving me deja vu here. You get the Rams as a home dog. You got Stafford coming back. You get McVay an extra week to prepare. I like the Rams a lot to just win this game,
Almost
even though the
do.
Seahawks are a lot
The
better.
Seahawks are so much better than them, and the Rams have not looked good. They just really have not looked good. But they're gonna get Stafford back. It really all comes down to, well, he's coming back obviously, but McVay off the bye, that's scary stuff. It's about as scary as it gets, at least from offensive output situations. What can he scheme up? I think I like the +3 here as well. And Cooper Kupp and Nakua get going. Too bad they don't have Kyron Williams back, but I mean, again, you look at this game from a stat sheet perspective, you think the Seahawks are going to blow them out. Doesn't always work like that. I think The Rams definitely need to bounce back here, and I think they're going to, at least in the cover column, if not the win column.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I like the Rams to win this one. I think the Seahawks have they've been good, but they've been inconsistent. Looking
Very
at
true.
6-3.
Very true.
All right, this matchup I actually like a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
I do too.
six and
Who would
four
have thought?
Vikings going to the 4-5 Broncos. Vikings keep it rolling now, 5 straight wins, and Dobbs proved us wrong. I mean, I at least thought he was going to struggle a lot more against that Saints defense.
Hand up on
Um,
that one. Yep.
looked great both passing the ball and on the ground. Um, and then the Broncos just beat the Bills, as we just talked about. Got some lucky calls, lucky plays here and there, whatever. But this Broncos team stringing together some wins, and they're starting to look like a competitive football team again under Sean Payton now. Javonte Williams getting more involved in the running
He
game.
looks good.
Yeah,
Really
he
good.
was. I mean, after the injury last year, just seems like he hasn't really gotten going until the last couple weeks. But that just seems to be add a whole nother facet to this Broncos offense. And then the defense last year was phenomenal. Not the entire same roster. Like they dropped Randy Gregory just to even give some of the younger guys some more snaps. But the defense has started to look a little bit more competent the last
Yes,
few
he
weeks as
has.
well.
Yep.
Um, but I don't know. I think these are two pretty good football teams at the moment. Broncos as a -2 home team here. What do you like, Woj?
Just from a let's put away what I actually think and talk about what I actually want. I would love to see the Broncos win this game and kind of start chipping away and make the playoffs. After that, Bills when I'm in. Russell Wilson's looking. Let's go back to the analysis. Russell Wilson's been looking really good this season, consistency wise. He's not lighting up the stat sheet, but he's not losing the game for these Broncos. He's keeping him in it. He's not turning the ball over, which is especially important. He's not running for a ton of yards, but if you saw in that Bills game, he's really good at avoiding the pass rush and extending the play like he always has been. He's looking a little slimmer, as Colin mentioned. He's looking a little more mobile and nimble, and that's exciting. This Vikings team, we talk about it every week. Like, despite their record, there's always top 10 PFF ranked. Like, they're playing well. Offensive line's playing well. Addison stepping up. I think Justin Jefferson might be back this game. He's
Uh,
or at least he is eligible to come back this game, and that gets really scary. Just given the way they're playing, the defense is playing well. They're creating turnovers. Justin Jefferson is quote unquote doing everything in his power to play on Sunday. This could be interesting. Is this Vikings team a team that wins 5 games, 6 games in a row? I don't think so. So that's why I side with the Broncos here, and their defense is really looking elite over the last 3 weeks. We do talk about PFF. I think it's a good tool a lot of the times, but sometimes, like the Bengals, you're not going to judge a team by how they played the first 2 games of the season. That's kind of where this Broncos team is at. They look god awful the first 3 or 4 games of the season, but they've really turned it around, especially on the defensive side of the football. I think they've really had turned over a new leaf under great head coach Sean Payton. I think the Broncos win this game.
I do too, and some of it seems like recency bias because we just watched them like beat this great Bills
Yeah, that's the
team in our head
problem.
on Monday Night Football. But but yeah, I mean, if we're just looking at the last few weeks, and you could also argue, I mean, Dobbs is definitely getting more comfortable in that Minnesota offense, but I mean, is he is he that good as he's been playing? I mean,
He's
he
a
did
big
just
X
do it against
factor.
the
The biggest
Saints,
X
but
factor in
it's
this
the
game
road.
is his ability to run, and we'll just see. Like his ability to run mitigates his short statement in this offense and maybe some of his shortcomings as a pure quarterback. But it really, his intelligence and his legs really, help him succeed in this league so far. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be a good game. You asked me about this game in week 3. This is the worst game of the slate. Now might be one of the best.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's certainly the most intriguing to see the outcome. Like
Yeah,
people want to know what's going
two
on with these teams.
two
This
very hot
game's this
teams.
game's always been the best game this week. What are we talking about?
Oh yeah, no, this is the best, probably best game of the season so far.
On paper, for sure. No
Yeah,
matter the outcome, best game on paper. And hopefully
yeah,
in reality.
yeah. I mean, Super Bowl rematch. Eagles sitting at 8-1. Chiefs at 7-2. We also get both teams coming off of bye weeks, so we're gonna get
Scary stuff.
fully or not fully, but mostly healthy rosters. Full game plans heading into this one. I mean, the line says it there, pretty much even. Given the Chiefs at -2.5 at home. I'm gonna let you go first.
Ah, sure. I'm going, even by the time you were just setting up this game, I've gone back and forth in my mind of who I like and who I think is going to win this game. I think this game's a pick 'em game, quite honestly. I want to say I take the Chiefs because they're at home, they're off a bye, and they're playing. They usually don't let contenders beat them. They want to prove themselves and their team that they're still better than you. Andy Reid is one of the greatest coaches of all time off a bye week. I want to look at his record as I'm talking about this. But what makes me want to hold back in the Chiefs is that this Eagles defense is really good. And outside of Travis Kelce, I don't love the weapons that the Chiefs have. It doesn't matter really all season long. This is going to be very similar, I think, to the Super Bowl and how this game goes down, but they're not going to have some of the wide receiver weapons. I know they didn't have Tyreek Hill and they didn't need him, but it's even this wide receiver room is even worse than last year and younger. And I just don't know how they use the passing game outside of Kelce to win this game. What do you think?
Yeah.
Keep in mind,
I
Andy
feel
Reid
like,
by week record is coming in soon.
yeah, I mean, and that's what scares me, obviously, in this one.
This is
But
like, I got to cut you off. This is actually insane. Andy Reid is an NFL coach, 24 seasons as a head coach, 31 years total. He is 27-4 after a bye week.
oh my gosh.
How do you just can't? It's like kind of like we did it for Mike Vrabel, we did it for Mike Tomlin. You just had to bet the Chiefs here because of that record. I don't care about anything else. And now I'll let you go.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, that pretty much changed my opinion, but I like the Eagles a lot.
I do too. Not
I think
anymore, but damn.
there's just, I mean, they feel really cheated out of the Super Bowl last year with the slippery turf and all
Yeah,
that. I mean, you've been hearing it nonstop since the conclusion of that game. I just feel like they're so hungry for this game, for this rematch.
I think so
Chiefs are
too.
too, but I think
No,
this
I'm with you.
really,
Everything you're
really
saying is right.
means something to the Eagles.
It
They've
gets a
had this
little more
game
personal.
circled since like the schedules came out. Yeah, it's a little more personal. I just feel the animosity. Like, they really feel like they should have won that Super Bowl game, and that they're kind of owed that. Not owed it, but
No,
that the
I'm
Chiefs
with
took
you.
it
It's
from them.
like this game. There's a really bad taste left in the Eagles' mouth, and the Chiefs don't have it. They're really working this game to get that out of their mouth and prove themselves more than anyone else. They are better than this Chiefs team because I do think this is going to be the Super Bowl match this year. I think this is how it's going to go down, and I do think the Eagles are going to win it this year.
Yeah,
And we'll see what happens. But
I mean we've been
this game is more meaningful than just another Monday Night Football game. It's not what this is. It's much bigger.
Yeah, I mean, you said it too. You noted mostly on the receivers, but the Chiefs have had more holes than this roster's had in the last 4 or 5 years. I
Their
mean,
defense is great, but offense
PFF
not
shows
great.
it. PFF still doesn't have them rated as one of the top teams, even at 7-2. Um, yeah, the defense has been solid, but you still got to give the Eagles defense the upper hand, and then just
Of
about
course, of
the
course.
lines, every skill factor. I don't think Mahomes can be enough to just overcome basically the weaker roster across the board.
Yeah,
But,
no,
but
I'm
then you
with
get
you.
Andy Reid going 27-4 and just makes you
I think I
question
have to take
everything.
him. I gotta have to take him, and the reason being is like Jalen Hurts doesn't look that good this year for the passing game compared to last year. I think Andy Reid finds a way to commit some turnovers with them and uh, win this game somehow at home. But that is the video sleeper with limited time left. We did pretty well there. I'm excited for like you said, the top of the video. Much better slate this week than last.
Oh yeah, so many much better games. I mean, starts with Thursday, goes through with the Monday night game.
Yep, gonna be a
Um,
fun week. Good luck, everyone. Check out our other videos as well to see what bets we're taking and what we're thinking for all the games as well in week 11.